We've come from the civil rights movement that learned that civil rights are not adequate or complete without economic opportunity. We've come from a peace movement that came to understand that there never can be a stable peace as long as there are extraordinary disparities of wealth and economic opportunity. We've come from an environmental movement that learned our efforts to preserve the natural environment will not succeed on a broad scale unless we address legitimate concerns regarding development. CDFIs were born from a group of visionaries with an audacious idea. They believed capitalism can work for everyone when people are put before profit.
What bound us together as a collective was the shared anger each one of us had about the places either we were from or where we were living and the injustice that we saw there, and that the opportunity that was denied people who could have been our grandparents or our sisters or our brothers, where organizing money and investing it could help them revitalize their communities.
I first ran into CDFIs or their predecessors, in my case, community development loan funds, in 1988, right before Thanksgiving, when a friend invited my wife and me over to the house of their friend in Philadelphia, and that friend happened to be Martin Paul Trimble. And Martin started talking about these community development loan funds and how they brought communities together and how they organized capital from nuns and other faith-based investors and from foundations and all the amazing work they were doing. And I thought either he was crazy or he was a prophet. And turned out he was a prophet.
What was good about our early energy was people were always looking a little forward. How do we break in to the major flows of capital, to the major flows of federal subsidy, to do the work that the country needs to build this economy in rural and urban areas? So great energy in the early days. And I think the truth is we've never lost it.
The energy of the industry is what opened my eyes to the possibilities. People who were deeply committed, people who were smart as hell, because at the end of the day, we're talking about people who are in finance. As an urban planner, I am not in finance. And so my initial anchoring certainly was not coming to it as interest in the financial industry. It was, frankly, looking at avenues for impact.
For more than 40 years, CDFIs have been stewards of responsible capital. It has been an extraordinary journey. Now, here we are. History has brought us to this decisive moment. Where do we go now?
There are 1,300 places out of 4,300 places in this country with more than 10,000 people who are that are CDFI deserts. So there's a significant amount of this country that does not have access to CDFIs anywhere close to what it needs, which is not to say that places that have access to CDFIs have all they need. They don't. But I think that's a driving strategic factor for the CDFI industry moving forth. And I hope that folks, in a lot of ways, and some people are doing this, will find new ways to expand expand service across geography.
We've transformed this field because of very strong partnerships with very powerful entities. And I feel like the future is still with partnerships, and that our ability to be the needle-nosed financial first responders who will see a problem and will see the communities who need it, need to continue to build on all three of those partnerships. And then I would just add one more thing about the future. I think we have to continue to be the employer of choice. We have to draw the smart, committed, capable people to this field. And I feel so good about that because there's so much good work ahead.
Change isn't made at a loan committee. Almost all the founders came out of some sort of organizing background, and they understood what it meant to work with and support and develop ordinary people in order to make change. So my advice to today's leaders is to honor your mothers and fathers. All of us started in organizing. You need to start in organizing.
We stand today on the history and impact of so many that have come before us, who made sure that we had the right resources, who made sure that organizations were standing at the ready to be a resource in communities. We stand here today on the shoulders of so many. And so Made by History couldn't be more perfect as an honoring of what the past has been for our industry, but also a teeing up not only of the moment, but for a bright future.
CDFIs are proven. We are made by history. We are made for this moment.